And maybe we need to stop there for just a moment. Because some of these things that we're calling curses are not really curses at all. Some of this stuff that we're laboring as bad spirits are not really bad spirits at all. Because what we are really dealing with is not a curse. You have become a victim of your own victimization. You are your own worst enemy. You're victimizing, you have done it to yourself. Your own thoughts about you have crippled you. Not the girl next door, but you have done it to yourself. You have lowered your own self-esteem. You have lowered your own self-worth. You need to start seeing and looking at yourself like God sees and looks at you. He sees you as his wonderful creation. He sees you as his daughter. He calls you the apple of his eye. He delights in who you are. Zephaniah chapter 3 verse 17 tells us that the Lord, the mighty one, it is he that has saved us. He will rejoice over us. He will get glad over us. He will quiet us with his love, and he will rejoice over us with singing. You need to stop victimizing yourself and start looking at you like God looks at you. And realize there's some things that will never be. I need some sisters to look at another sister and say, some things will never be. You want to be a size 5, 7, or 9. But nobody in your family is a size 5, 7, or 9. Your aunt was a size 20. Your mama is a size 22. Every female in your family got a heavy chest. Well, what in the name of God are you trying to make over yourself when you can never be a size 5, 7, or 9? You need to take your plus-wearing self and be happy with who God made you. Look at another sister, tell her it ain't in the DNA. It just ain't in the DNA. It ain't in there. It ain't in there. It ain't in there. You ain't gonna never be a size 3. You're gonna always be a size 16. Be happy with your 16 size wearing belt. I need some people to get glad. I need some women to get glad right here. Get glad about who you are. Get glad about what you look like. Get glad about who God made you. And don't let nobody else make you feel bad because you a size 16 or you a size 5. Tell yourself, I am fearfully and wonderfully. I dare you to high five your sister. Say, I am who God says I am. And I'm glad about it. That leads me to my first point. You need to kick out of your own misery. I said you need to kick out of your own misery. You don't need to go no place and have nobody pray you out. You need to kick out of your own misery. I mean, you need to drive. You need to move. It's time for you to be happy with yourself. You've been happy for everybody else. It's time for you to get glad about yourself. I am worth something. I may not be what anybody else in the family is, but I am worth something. Imagine Leah's dilemma. She had spent the bulk of her life living in Rachel's shadow. She was never quite measuring up to Miss Rachel's cuteness, but she had to learn how to kick herself out of her own misery. Can you imagine how Leah felt when she looked into Jacob's eyes the morning after the consummation of the marriage, when Jacob looked at her and discovered that she was not Rachel? Can you imagine the rejection that crept all over Leah? What was she expected to do? Who was she expected to be? How much more can she take? Just like you have to do. You have to look at someone who has rejected you and someone who's expecting you to be what you can't be, and you got to find your own self-worth. Well, maybe nobody in the family, just like Miss Leah, thought anything about Leah, but Leah had to say to herself, I may not be worth anything to anybody else, but I'm worth something to God. And that's what you got to tell yourself, ladies. I may not be worth anything to anybody else, but my God, these 2 days have taught me that I'm worth something to my God. And if I'm worth something to God, I can handle anybody else. Leah, my God, had to come to a place where she liked who she was. I came for about 200 women in here who are thinking about going home and remaking who they are. The Holy Ghost of God sent me in here to tell you, like the way you are. Well, maybe you didn't finish high school. Well, go back home and get yourself a GED and like you for who you are. Kick yourself out of your own misery and tell yourself, I'm worth something. I'm better than a car. I'm better than a new house. I like who I am, and I'm worth something. With my apartment living self, I'm a self worth something. With my old looking self, I'm a old looking like myself somebody. And I ain't gonna let you dog me, cause I don't look like everybody else. For the first time in my life, I feel good about who I am and where I'm going. I dare you sisters to touch 2 or 3 sisters and tell them I'm worth something and you worth something too. Say yes. Say yeah. I'm about to deliver myself. I'm about to get out of this myself. I'm about to push up out of this and feel good about who I am. I mean, I can say it like you say it. I can't sing it like you sing it. God knows I can't preach it the way you preach it, but I am somebody. I am worth something. Yes, I am. With raising the kids all by myself,